Hi, I hope you're well. So before I started with giving you information how you should improve your serve, I just want to mention, for me, one important thing is how you should watch these videos. What I'm suggesting is to take a note, maybe a paper or maybe in a phone, and while watching this, to take few notes with your own words and trying to get to put reminder for you later. Everything you see and what I said is important in the video. Why? Because this video will be like 30 minutes long, and it will be a lot of information, a lot of explanations, but you need some kind of a summary which you can later bring on the court with you and use before the training or in the middle of the training or maybe even after training to compare. So this is my honest suggestion, to take the notes from it and then keep it with you while trying to change the things on the court. So when it comes to the primary things, I can make a group of 3 things. So first one, I can see, I don't have many repetitions, so I can conclude like a for sure, but I think the toss is sometimes inconsistent, means that it's going maybe too much in front sometimes. Uh, it's just a matter of practice, conscious practice. The thing what people are making mistake is that when they're practicing toss, they're just doing like this with the arm, and then when they start doing a full motion, it completely falls apart. Or how we should approach that? We need to have something in between. That being said, so you will, if you want to a bit practice toss on some particular day, let's say Monday, you will do a bit of toss drills. So before you start serving, you will do like a 15 of just tossing in the right place just with the arm. Then this is important. You will have some middle step. You will go and just into trophy position toss, and you will not hit the ball, nothing. You will just check is the placement okay, and then hop again. I guess that you know this saying in tennis which we're using to explain like clock, like a toss 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. But in case you're not familiar with it, I will just explain. So imagine a big clock around our contact point. So this is like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Your toss contact point, that's more precise, should be between 12 and 1 o'clock. This is, you're a good level, so there's no need to go too much on the towards 2 o'clock, because you can handle this between 12 and 2. And when it comes to how much in the court, like a 2 feet in the court or 1.5 feet, depends of your preference. It's a bit of a individual thing. It cannot be decided also compared to your age, but a bit more in the court. Of course, you don't want to be just on top of you. Just don't let happen that the toss go too much into it, because then you're collapsing by trying to chase that ball. So the first thing is toss, and then I told you how to practice it. Choose a day, and then on that particular day, consciously try to go through the toss 15, 20 times with the arm, 50, 20 times with going into trophy position. And then, of course, while serving, it's best to record and check is it every single repetition good. On that Monday, which is like maybe toss day when it comes to serving, better to check every serve 50 serves and check every single serve is some of these serve toss. That some of these serve toss was completely went off. If it was, then next time try to correct it. For example, if it went too much in front, don't let that happen next time. Then if on that time it was maybe a bit behind, then next time correct. And by doing this, like back and forward, you will find the perfect way. You just need to work on it. The next 2 things are maybe the most important things for your change right now. This is the way you're entering and the way you're standing into the trophy position. You're completely closed. That means that you are here and you are not just facing the side fence, you're almost a bit towards this side, facing like this, maybe like a 30 degrees angle in this direction. What we want is that you put your back foot completely on the side of the front, and then try to rotate your hips and your upper body towards the back fence. So you have examples in analysis, but I will also show you. So all the way like this, as much as possible, to turn your upper body toward this direction. So you will tossing and up like this. So how you can see that? If you're from the back view, you need to see your front hip and your front shoulder. If you're able to see in this trophy position, then that's most likely good position in terms of rotation. The next thing and next issue is the back leg loading, because you're entering so much like straight without turning, you're immediately up too much on the front leg. I will send you in the next video set of the drills you should do to improve it, and try to use it on a daily basis. Daily, I don't know how many times per week you're training, how big part of your life is tennis, but when you're on the court, when you're serving, try to do these exercises. The main two I'm speaking about now, it's a back leg serving, should be part of your every tennis training, and the shot put drills, you should use it maybe before training to warm up. I will go in detail how you should use it, but that back leg, if we need to choose one part of our body, which is most important in the serve, beside the arm, because it's actually what is making a contact, it should be most likely be a back leg. It's a motor of our engine of our motion, and without it, you're losing so much energy. So right now, you're serving quite well without two very big engines of our motion, rotation and the back leg. If you combine in the next maybe 6 months, you have time, you're young. If you change this in the next 6 months, I'm thinking, sorry, I'm quite sure you will improve your serve significantly. So I will just go to summarize this primary block. You need to work on the toss. Choose one day, on that day particularly, do a bit of a shadow toss, it's just with the ball, then with the going in the trophy position, and then double check while serving, is the toss all right. If you see that in 1 or 2 or 3 weeks everything is perfect, then just your toss is fine, no need to put extra work on it. Next, or maybe in the same level of priorities, is back leg loading. You will practice that through the back leg serving, through the shot put exercises. One thing, when you're practicing the back leg serving, imagine how it feels when you're serving. Imagine how it feels in the back leg, and then try to feel the same here. When you're entering the trophy position, you should feel balanced, 50-50 on the both weight, or on the both legs. Don't let to feel that you're completely on the front leg. Feel that you're even more, if need, exaggerated. If that needed, toss, and then feel that you're completely on the back, and then slowly you will adjust to be 50-50. And the third thing, you need to rotate to see your upper front side of the body from the back view. One good tip for that, how you should work on it, try to put behind you on a 45 degrees. So here, 45 degrees on this side, try to put a basket or bottle, doesn't matter, some object. And then when you're entering the trophy position, your goal should be that you're turning, that your shoulder line and the hip line are facing and going in direction of that object, bottle, for example. That would be a very good way to learn how to do it. Then, of course, something which without you should not practice, also if there is a coach, video analysis. After, try 2, 3, 4 times, and then check. Record yourself and see, are you doing that or not? If you're not doing it, try even more. One note, and it's very, very important, you will not be able to rotate your hips properly if you're not putting the weight on the back leg. That means if you try now to stand on the front leg and try to rotate, you will feel like a stuck. You cannot do it. But if you put the weight 50-50, all of a sudden I can move. That's a one note. Next note, because don't let this happen. To turn your feet just to be able to turn. No, then it's not a call. We're not making this torque you in our body. You need to stay in direction with your feet and to just rotate hips and the upper body. Toss, choose one day on a week. Back leg, through the back leg exercise, serving, trying to imitate that in a full motion to feel the same, and then rotate with the object behind you in 45 degrees and try to line up with that object. Now we have secondary block. So it's very important to understand that you should address secondary block only when you're completely done with the primary block. If you start mixing, addressing a bit of a secondary blocks and a bit of a primary blocks, it will not end up most often it not end up in the best way. And why also it's so important to address first primary block, especially in this case when you have two big things to fix in a primary block, because sometimes by fixing one big thing in the motion, especially in the loading phase, let's say a back leg loading, which is case here, subconsciously in immediately the body will fix some other things after that phase. So you're fixing the let's go straight to the example. Sometimes people have like a low elbow issue, and once they fix the back leg, you subconsciously put the elbow in the right position. So if you adjust now, which maybe in this case is secondary problem of elbow position, you either cannot fix it or you're spending too much time, and the problem is just before that in the back leg loading. Same goes for hit. So that's why it's so important to first address primary block. When it comes to this secondary block, here we see one thing. Your take back, which is this phase when you're how you're going back in the motion, is really too long and early in terms of when you compare to the tossing arm. What that means? Usually what we want is the tossing arm is leading the motion. It's going a bit in front in compared to this arm. This arm is down while this is going up. It helps us to side bend and also help us a bit with the loading of the bad leg and all of the other things. In your case, you're going first with this arm and then you're starting with your tossing arm, which makes you really straight, and then you're going directly into the motion. It would be the good thing is that most of the people in your which are doing the same as you, this long take back, will collapse. Either they will fall on this side, or the racket will be dropped, or they will skip that phase. You're doing a pretty good job. After this too long take back, you're putting the racket in the perfect position. So that's why it's not a primary goal. Otherwise, it would be definitely a primary thing, because you're actually making that position good here is something you should address later. But how? You should try to slow down this arm and let this arm lead the motion. So start with the tossing arm and then catch up with the tossing arm. First thing, that's a timing-wise thing. When it comes to the placement and the movement of the arm itself, no need to go that much behind. Try to keep the racket always in front. So you're going till here and then immediately putting it into the trophy position. So all in all, it looks like this. You see, I didn't went like behind. I was not starting before. My tossing arm started the motion. My arm started catching it up. I went a bit back, and then I went straight into the trophy position. This adjusting of the take back will also help you later with the loading a bit more of a back leg, more side bending, more of these things. But first you need to learn, as I told you, for primary things. The second thing in a secondary block is to stay more sideways. Now if you address it, you cannot fix it because you're over-rotated like this, only because you don't have a back leg and you don't have this coil in the trophy position. But once that is fixed, try to make sure that you're staying more sideways. Serve is more of a cartwheel motion, not of rotational one, which most people think. So we want to go in this shoulder over shoulder position and hitting in this way. Of course, you will not stay like completely till the end. You will open in one moment, but only through contact, not before it. So you're not opening and then hitting, you're hitting and opening. That's a huge difference of it. So I will go again through a secondary block. First take back, two things in take back. One is the way you're putting this arm back. It's too long, so try to do it a bit more shorter here. And the second is timing. You're not starting with this arm, you're starting with this arm. You're creating a bit leg separation between the arms, and then this arm is catching the motion. After that, you're additionally starting to stay sideways even more through the motion. What I told you now is at least like a 1 year of a good practice, because you have two major things: back leg loading, rotation, and toss. And then only after that, which really requires sometimes you need to spend some time on the take back, and when you finish all of that, to stay more sideways. So it's really big job in front of you, but what is good is that you already have a good serve motion. So I always say this is the blessing when you have a good serve motion and you have huge room for improvement. That means you can your serve can be really, really, really good. In the next videos, I will send you back leg serve exercises, and I will send you some tests for a range of motions in the shoulder and in thoracic spine. I think you're fine, but it's always good to check. What I would suggest also is to start doing some physical things, jumps, squats, push-ups, and all of this, like a normal physical things. I guess you're already doing. Again, I don't know how big part of your life is tennis, but if you want to really develop your serve, you need to have a strong body. So beside the good range of motions, you should check with your fitness trainer or with some fitness specialist for some program, which will really give you two things: power for explosiveness and also stability in the joints. These two things combined will give you later a really good body to have a good range of motions, but also to be strong enough to go through the motion. When it comes to the exercises for the back leg, we have two different categories. We have back leg serving, which has 3 steps, and then we have a shot put exercises. I will show you first back leg serving, and this is one you can practice just that, like you can serve just from the back leg like a 50 serves. It's especially at the beginning when you're learning that and to feel more comfortable with it. But later on, I would suggest to do it regularly whenever you're serving, but for 10 times while you're warming up. So you will do like a serving just like this. Yeah, you're doing that to warm up, and then later after that you can serve from the back like 10 or 8 repetitions, and then start serving the full motion. Just every time to remind yourself how it feels when you're serving from the back leg. All of these exercises, shot put and this one, is teaching us how it feels when we are doing it, so we can learn from it and try to replicate that in a full serve motion. You will not magically, while doing this, serving better. But if you're thinking how it should feel, how much weight is on the back leg while I'm serving from the back leg, it's 100%, and trying to feel something similar in the full serve motion by doing this back and forward. Also, one more thing, you can also do it like you're serving full motion and then you start losing that feeling of the back leg. What you can do is go back to the back leg serving, you serve 2 times, and then go back to the full serve motion. Use this as an example to yourself how it should feel when you're actually using that back leg, because from the back leg, when you're serving, you have only that choice. You need to use it. And actually, you will see that when you're serving from the back leg, you can serve quite fast, 90% of your full speed once you're comfortable with it. How we are doing it? What's the first step? First step is you will start in this position. You're in a normal position, and then don't raise front leg too soon. That's the biggest mistake I've seen, because they're raising too soon and then they cannot catch the balance. Just before the start, just before you start serve motion, you will raise your leg and starting the serve motion. You will serve, lean, and you want to land, to step, sorry, it's the first step, to step in the court. That's the main thing. So we are here, up, stepping in the court while hitting. We're using this to really shift our weight forward. The next step is with small jump. Same thing, everything the same, you will prepare. Just this time you will try to jump a bit, jump in the court, very important, and again, catch the ball high and hit. It looks something like this. Before I start, I'm raising the leg, so here, up, and serving. The third one is the most difficult one, which only if you're really, really good in the first 2 steps, if you're really comfortable with it, you should do. And it's the way that you will go down. You will have a small pause in this leg, so you will go down, raise, you will now pause a bit, you will throw, go high and hit. In this way, you develop stability and strength, isometric strength in this back leg, and that can later transfer in the full serve motion. Use these drills in this way I said. Use it alone, use it before the serving set, using in between. But overall, it's a drill which I believe it's the most important drill, like a pre-drill when it comes to serving. Shot put exercise is very important exercise also. It imitates serve motion very well, but it let us focus on the some of the fundamental things when it comes to the loading. When I'm saying that, I mean on the back leg and on rotation calling part of the motion. So how we will do it? Because it's a shot put drill, it's very similar to the shot put for the Olympic sport. You will put the ball on the shoulder like this, and there's no throwing motion. You're just strengthening the arm up, and in that way you will throw the ball and lean on the side. The first step is just that. You will stand here, you will lean a bit on this side, and then while strengthening the arm, you will lean on the opposite side, like this. So from this side, I'm here, and then I'm here. This is the first step, and you should use this just for the beginning until you're confident with it, so you can move to the next one. The next one is the second goal is you will put yourself on the back leg, you will bend on this side, and you will bend again on this side. This is with a step here, up, small hoop in between. This is the second step, again from this side. I will raise the leg, and I'm just bending without rotating at all. Record yourself and check. The third one is actually what we want to reach. When we reach the third step, we should use just that step. It's not the same as we are speaking in a back leg serving. In the back leg serving, the first step is maybe the ones you will use the longest. I mean, you will use that one step no matter if you can serve all three steps. The first one you will use for warm up and things like that. But in this shot put exercise, you should use the third one. When you reach that level, use only that one. You will put the ball again on the shoulder, everything the same. But this time, you will first coil the hips and the upper body. You will rotate without moving the feet. You will coil. You will go down on the back leg. And now you will raise the front leg. This is the setup for this drill. And it's very important that you're coiling, rotating, and going down here, like a bit of upper body on this side. And now you're raising, and from here, I'm doing a full jump as hard as I can, staying sideways, not rotating, and landing in the court. It looks something like this. So I'm standing, rotating, I'm down here, and I'm like, up. This will develop first the strength, power in your back leg. You're learning how to sit in the back hip. You should feel the pressure in the back hip, and also learning how to go out of it while not rotating, while forcing you to stay sideways. Very important for the serve. I suggest to do this for a warm-up, or sometimes like completely off court, maybe in a fitness area or during the fitness training, or maybe sometimes at home. With this test, we will check our internal shoulder rotation range of motion. So why is this important? When we are serving, what's happening is that after the contact, we have this, in the acceleration phase of the motion, we have this long axis rotation. Many of the people on the internet are saying just like pronation, are we pronating? But actually the forearm pronation is part of a bigger motion. It's called long axis rotation. It's a combination of internal shoulder rotation and forearm pronation. So the thing you're seeing that after the contact in the pro players, it's actually combination of forearm pronation and internal shoulder rotation. Internal shoulder rotation, when it comes to the power and the force on the serve, it's a huge part of it. And we need to have a full range of motion to be able to use that power. And let's test it. If you have a limited shoulder rotation, not just that you're missing some power on the serve, you're very close to be injured. So this is the way you will test it. You will put the racket in front of you. You will take this let's say one-hander grip for the backhand, put in front of you like this, so the hand is in the shoulder height, also in the line with the shoulder if you look from that side. Here, and you will just let the racket drop. Without twisting, without doing anything special, you will just let the racket drop. If it's 90 degrees and you can see that I'm on the edge, that's okay. If you're here or here, it's not that you cannot serve or something like that, but you need to be aware of it. So, for example, if you're trying to force that pronation, you can easily injure your elbow because you will stop here because of limited internal shoulder rotation, and then you will overdo it and compensate with the elbow pronation and then forearm pronation, and then you can hurt yourself. So it's not that if you have a limited that you need to stop or something like that, but you need to be aware of it, and someone who is doing servitude or some other motion needs to be aware of it and to know to not force some technical things because of that. The second thing after internal shoulder rotation, which is also part of the shoulder mobility, is external shoulder rotation. This is huge part of storing the energy because our racket drop highly depends of good external shoulder mobility and thoracic extension mobility. So if we don't have good range of motion in these two sectors, we will not be able to drop the racket enough. If you're not dropping the racket enough, we cannot create enough power and not force on a serve. Why? Because the more deeper the racket is, you're more stretching these muscles, but not just that, you have more distance to the ball. So more distance means more time to accelerate the racket. So you will, the faster, at the moment of contact, the racket will be faster. That's why it's so important that we have a good racket drop. Also, again, on the other side, it's not just about performance, it's also about prevention of injury. So let's see how we will test it. You will put the arm in this 90-degree angle. You will put like this on the side. So your elbow is in a shoulder line and your hand is like this, palm down. You're looking forward, you're standing straight, not like on a side. And now you will just raise the hand as much as possible without moving your back, hips, or anything. Everything else is fixed. You're here, and you're just moving it back and here. How you will see, are you passing the test or not? You need to pass this ear line. So line of your body is like this. If you're there, you're on the edge. You're not passing the test, but it's not that bad. If you're before that, this can be tricky. You need to work around it. But the perfect thing would be if you can pass that ear level. If you want to maximize this, you need to address, if you have problem or either internal shoulder rotation or external shoulder rotation, you need to check the specialist and improve these two things. Now we will test thoracic mobility, and the way we will do it, you will sit down on something like this. You will put the racket behind you like this, and now you are trying to rotate on one side. On the side where you're rotating, you will put that foot over the foot from the other side. So if I'm going now in this side, I will put my right over my left. I will sit straight, and then I will try to rotate as much as I can. The goal and how we are passing the test is, if this line is the line from where we start, we need to rotate at least 45 degrees. So the best would be if there's some cross line. So if you're sitting, there's a line like this and a line like this. So you know when you start, you can see, are you passing that line or you're before that line? On the other side, you check that side, and then you're doing on the other side also. You're putting like this, our legs are closed, you're sitting straight, and you're rotating as much as you can on the other side. Again, goal is to go over that 45 degrees compared to this straight line from where you were beginning. The stick exercises, which I highly recommend to everyone, no matter which level you are, like from the beginner to the pro, it's very useful for warm-up, but also for improvement range of motion in upper body. The range of motion in each joint, and how we call it mobility, is actually something which you want to do on a daily basis. If you're not doing it on a daily basis, or let's say at least like a few times per week, it will decrease. It's just part of the mobility nature. So we use this exercise. It's just normal stick from this cleaning thing, but you can use like a proper gymnastic stick you can order from the Amazon or wherever. And then there's a series of these exercises which will require maybe like a 5 to 7 minutes of your time. I highly recommend. I will go through all of the exercises. I will speed it up, so it will, otherwise the video will be too long. But you can slow it down. You can stop. You can write the exercises on the paper so you can remember it. So, however it suits you. But I will go through it, and I highly recommend to everyone on a daily basis. You can do 6 to 8 reps for each of these separate exercises in this one whole drill of a stick exercise. To warm up for the serve session, we have this stick exercises, which I sent you already, and we also want to use band for it. We want to bring the blood into the muscles we will use for the serve. I will show you some of the exercises. There are many of them. You can also do what you feel that you need the most, but I will just show you the idea. The idea of doing this before serving is not that you're doing like slowly 15 times that the muscle are burning. This is strengthening part. You can do it after the serve session or just completely in a different time than a serving. But when you're in front of the serve session, you want to do it fast, not like extremely fast, but fast enough, and just 6, 7 repetitions to bring the blood in these muscles. For example, I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm turning on the other side. 1, 2, 3. And I can do 2 sets, but I don't want to make my muscle tired too much. Then I can turn, I can use some other drills, up, or something like this, this, wrist. So you can just put the bands, fix the band somewhere, and use as many of these small drills to bring the muscle and to warm up, bring the blood in the muscle and to warm up your upper body properly. I will now explain the core of this serve training, not just now when you're changing in general. First, I would start that, and I will just go again fast through it, that you need repetition. Repetition is core of the changes for everything in tennis, in sports, and even more for serve. You need at least 250 repetitions per week. That's like a minimum, bare minimum. And then, of course, you can go up to 500, but not all of a sudden. Slowly build up to it. If you're playing like 5 times per week. If you're not playing, of course, you cannot serve more than 120 times per day. The second thing I want you to tell you that recording is absolutely necessary thing in learning and practicing the serve. Why? Because even if the coach is on the side, you need to see how it looks. You need to understand what you're doing now, because right now, after all of this analysis, you should know how it should look if you correct that perfectly how it should look. So you need to see where you are now. Even after a few repetitions, I had huge success with recording all my trainings and showing the clients immediately after repetition. Immediately when they think that they did the best thing ever, I immediately show them that maybe it was not that good, or on the opposite side, that it's maybe better than they think, that they're actually improving. So you need to use it even if the coach is on the court with you. Third thing which I want to explain is that you need to feel your body. You need to put your mind into your body and not thinking about the outcome. This here is important. The serve as a motion is something is happening down, you have back leg loading. In the same time, you're doing something on the left side tossing. On the right side, the arm is moving, and above you, you're looking in the ball. So on the fourth side of your body, in the same time, something is moving. If you want to correct one part of this movement, you need to put your mind just there. Whatever happens here doesn't matter. That's why we have these primary goals and secondary goals, and in each of these blocks we have like a list of it. You should go one by one so you can really put the mind into it. If that's, for example, let's say some example, back leg loading. I want to really to feel every single millimeter of what my leg is doing in this particular repetition. I don't care if in that moment my toss is completely off, or this arm is off. I want to feel, am I in good position here? And then I will check with the video. If the video confirms that I'm here, then I know how it feels. And then slowly I can start thinking about the other things while trying to maintain that feeling which I realize while focusing on that. It's hugely important to do it in that way. The outcome is our biggest enemy. Biggest enemy if improving the serve, improving technique of the serve. And if you improve technique, outcome will come for sure.